Alrighty guys, we're back for some mono white aggro, and this is a March of the Machine standard brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got in the build here? This one's based around Monastery Mentor. This is a 3 mana 2/2 with Prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with Prowess. Nice. Overall, this is going to help us go super wide, but we have a bunch of other cards in here to help us go wide as well, like Wedding Announcement. Of course, it's going to eventually buff all of our creatures too, which is excellent. We have Skrelv's Hive in here. While there's not a toxic theme, just keeping creatures on the board is super important. And then at some point too, the lifelink on the bottom of this card is very, very powerful too. So it has Corrupted as long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Creatures you control with toxic have lifelink, so all those Phyrexian Mites. Yeah, it goes a long way against like mono red, and it helps you regain the life that you lost from the Hive, but we see that card all the time. So let's continue. We got 4 Crawling Chorus. Just keeping creatures on the board, man. Like I said, it's not a toxic theme deck, but there's so much removal, and I'm running into a lot of mono red right now, so there's a lot of burn too. So once Crawling Chorus ends up dying or chumping to something, at least we'll still have a creature on the board, right? So Skrelv, Defector, Mite, we might want more of these just for the sake of protection, but I don't think so. I think it'll be fine as a one-of. A couple Intrepid Adversaries to help us buff that wide board state, and the lifelink is going to come in handy as well. Ossification for some excellent removal, right? Also fitting like the whole theme of non-creature spells as well. All the non-creature spells in here obviously working wonders with the Monastery Mentor. Okay, Invasion of Gobakhan. This is a 2 mana battle siege, and it enters with 3 defense counters on it. So, just in case you haven't seen a siege yet, it's a battle is a permanent type that enters with defense counters. As a siege battle enters, your opponent will be chosen to protect it, while you can attack it. Damage removes its defense counters. When the last counter is removed, you exile it, then cast it transformed. So, when Invasion of Gobakhan enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. This could be huge, man. Just like making it so that way your opponent can't drop their Invoke Despair on time or Sheoldred or any board wipe at all, right? This card could be absolutely huge in almost any game. And then with only 3 defense counters, we're going to be able to hit this relatively easy. And I think it'll be worth the flip too. It flips into Light Shield Array. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that attacked this turn. And if we're going wide, that could be super significant. But then sacrifice Light Shield Array. Creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Okay, yeah, no, this card seems pretty solid. I'm curious to see if it's going to be worth the 4 of in here. Okay, more ways to buff our wide board state. We have a couple in the trenches and acts as late game removal as well. Hopefully we're just going so ridiculously wide that every time in the trenches hits the board, it's like really good. Have a couple of Adelines, also helps us go wide, just a terrific creature overall. Maybe we want 3 of these, but it doesn't fit like the non-creature theme on the Mentor, so, but neither does our 1-drops either, so yeah, it really depends, huh? Okay, we got Planeswalkers on the top end. We have a couple Archangel Elspeths here. This is a 4 mana, 4 loyalty legendary Planeswalker with a +1 where you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with a lifelink. Okay. Got a -2 here, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. It becomes an angel in addition to its other types and gains flying. That could be huge. -6, return all non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That is absolutely disgusting. Like that, if our opponents end up removing everything over here, man, holy cow, could you imagine everything we could hit on the -6 here? Of course, we're not going to be doing that too often, but overall, seems like a solid Planeswalker. Speaking of solid Planeswalkers, couple Wandering Emperors in here. We know the power of this card overall, regardless of whether or not we're playing control or aggro, right? So I think it'll be good in here. I have a top end of Elspeth Resplendent as well. Just a like a great way to help us wrap up games against mid-range enemies, right? There have been a few times that we captured on camera where Elspeth gives the +1 to an Adeline, and then we give it flying and then just fly on in. Of course, the Archangel Elspeth also helps us give flying, so we'll see how often that actually comes into play. I think the lifelink on the Resplendent is pretty ridiculous too, especially since we are seeing so much mono red. It's giving something a +1/+1 counter, and lifelink could be absolutely disgusting, right? Okay, 24 total land, one of them being a Roadside Reliquary, which I think we'll be able to draw two off of very often, and I don't think the one of in here is going to hold us up at all, honestly. A Seat of the Empire, just, you know, utility land. One honorable mention, only one today, Kayla's Command. I think this would be worth squeezing in, and for example, let's say you don't have any Adelines. It is a rare, and it's going to be rotating out this year, and you happen to have a couple Kayla's Command, just slot those in instead. I think this would be excellent in here overall. Okay, guys, that's the list. A relatively simple one. I think it's actually going to be easier to play than the Urabrask list that we played for yesterday's video as well. So either way, let's go ahead, take it into some ranked and see how we do. Uh-oh, guys, I got lost in the menus. It's all good, though. We'll still find that match. Easy peasy. What am I expecting from the build? I'm actually expecting a lot. I feel like this deck is going to be ridiculous. There's just something about, like, aggro decks that have the chance of, like, sustainability, right? And I think this is one of those lists for sure. I think we're going to be capable of doing big damage early on, but then also just sustaining ourselves throughout the late game as well. So, all right, yeah, we'll give this one a shot. Looks like a decent hand. Crawling Chorus. Right into the Invasion. The first time I'm playing with a battle, I'm excited. Here we go. Let's see what you got over there, opponent. Oh. Oh, geez. Mono white mid-range. / control, of course. The Peacekeeper could be a good one to hit. We have a couple Bank Busters, Ossifications. Dude, everything about this just looks so disgusting on so many levels. Let's hit Peacekeeper, because if we hit one of the Ossifications, they just have the other one to play. And I think we will start swinging at the Invasion. I think getting that flipped, we might be able to flip it sooner than later. Every mentor, really? What? Opponent, I would have loved to play that one out, buddy. What happened? Oh, no mana. I wasn't even paying attention. I guess the card that they drew wasn't a land. What? We were looking through the hand, and yeah, they just had no mana. I didn't even pay attention to that. Well, GG opponent, that was a very risky hand to keep from the opponent. Wow. I guess since they had so many 2-mana cards, even so, they don't know how fast our hand would have been, so maybe sticking out one more turn trying to find the second mana. Technically, it still could have gone either way, because we would have just had the Mentor down, nothing else to do on that turn, and if they found the second mana, they could easily remove the Mentor. At that point, we'd be flipping the Siege, though. But even then... Alright, looks like a decent hand again. I guess we start with Siege? No, probably Adversary. A turn 3 Siege would be completely fine, because then we'd actually have the Adversary to swing into. Take care of it. Of course, that's if the opponent doesn't have a blocker, which they do, but that's okay. Okay, we're gonna need to see that third land soon enough. Is that a good trade for us? Probably not. Ossification I might want to save. Alright, we'll see what happens here. See what they have in hand. Leyline, Binding, Atraxa. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, everything is so disgusting here. A Soul of Windgrave. We have another Invasion. I guess Leyline Binding, making that cost more, you know. I guess that makes sense. This is a great block for the opponents based on what their hand is then. So maybe we can take it out next turn. We Ossification. Yeah, I think that trade is a little bit too good for the opponent. And maybe they wouldn't have taken the trade because maybe they'd want to get this ability. Turn a land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Just for the sake of Surveil, though? I don't know. One card. We're going to take it. We're going to try to flip that Invasion. See what they Surveil here. I might be able to get some solid ramp early on. Oh, Atraxa in the grave. Wow. Okay. There we go. Third land is good news. It's going to be Mentor, right? I think it's going to be Mentor this turn. The Herd Migration. Let's take out the Invasion. We could play the other Invasion. Okay, Light Shield Array. Cool, cool. I like it. Let's get that Mentor down. Wait, that doesn't cast, right? I don't think so. I hope not. Wait. Where do I read the battle? Removes its defense counters when the last counter is removed. Exile it, then cast it transformed. Oh. Well. Well, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, oopsie daisies. Oh well, we'll see. We'll see if that ends up mattering. I always do this. First day of set release, I literally always do this. Alright guys, we need to peer into their hand. And see what we see. Yeah, they're going to get a little bit of ramp. Comes out tapped. They're going to play the Soul of Windgrace. Leyline Binding. Well, see what they want to hit here, because honestly, we might give Hexproof to the Mentor. Yeah, let's do it. We might as well, right? Hexproof Indestructible. A pretty decent board overall. Ossification can hit whatever big creature they end up playing. Our second Invasion can flip this turn. Which might be fine too, right? Wow, holy cow. Okay, well, Herd Migration, sure. I guess we'll hit Soul of Windgrace, right? And do we go Ossification just for the sake of more? Just having more? Probably not, right? We want an answer for if they revive the Atraxa. Seems a little bit janky just holding it back, but at the same time. And then we cast it, so we'll get another 1/1. Yeah, we should have done that last turn for sure. We would have been much wider here, but that's okay. That's completely fine. Look at this board state. Wow. Look at this board state, guys. Even if they see a board wipe off the top. The Hexproof Indestructible is ridiculous. Oh, except for the -X/-X board wipe. That would be terrible for us. That would be awful, dude. Alright, we'll take the 2. See what they surveil here. That would be quite the top deck from the opponent, though. Like, because we know it's in their hand, so if that's their top deck, I mean, at that point, I guess GG, right? No! Opponent! Oh my goodness, guys. Well, back to square one, I suppose. Yeah, you can't do anything about the -X/-X with the Indestructible, so at least we have the Light Shield Array, and it's gonna be an uphill battle now, guys. It's gonna be a very uphill battle. Might be able to reestablish a board here. Okay. Not terrible. They're 1 mana away from just casting out Atraxa. Ossification can pick it up at least. It wouldn't have been much of a different board state had I actually played the Mentor earlier. Yeah, there's their 1 mana for their Atraxa. Let's see how much they actually stock up their hand here. That was quite the top deck, guys. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure that this match could have gone either way, even without that top deck, but they definitely needed an answer for the wide Holy cow. Dude, they hit everything. Oh my goodness, dude, we are in so much trouble. I can't believe that. I think they literally hit everything. Dude, that was crazy, man. Land off the top would have been pretty good for us. Sure, they're tapped out. Let's just play everything now. Let's just get it onto the board. They have another drag to the bottom too, so maybe keeping Skrelv in hand would have been fine. Oh yeah, we're super dead, guys. The drag to the bottom off the top was too much for us to handle, unfortunately. I think overall though, like we got to see the power of Invasion here, like big time, which is pretty cool. It's a shame that it happened to be the drag to the bottom style deck that gets around the Light Shield Array. I mean, there's no way they don't play that, right? Just wipe this board state and that's pretty much a GG at that point. Play second Atraxa, I guess. Problem there is they don't know if we have another Ossification in hand, so I literally can only imagine it's the board wipe this turn. If they don't play board wipe, then we have a chance. Because In the Trenches buffs this board, that's going to be an extra 4. And then, okay, yep, they still have enough mana for the board wipe. Then we have double Prowess, that would be an extra 6. I do not know what you do. Invasion enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile 2 non-land cards with mana value 4 or less. You may cast one of those 2 cards without paying its mana cost. Put one of them into your hand. Their cards exiled bottom. Okay, cool. It's not a board wipe, which means we might have a chance here, guys. We only have 4 mana though, so even if we do see a 1-drop off the top, it's not going to be anything else that buffs this board. And at this point, if we see a Plains off the top, that's not going to be enough either. So we still have like a really cool play within the trenches, but also we don't know what they're going to hit on the invasion here too, so because it's 2 non-land cards and they might just see a 3rd drag to the bottom at that point. Invasion's an interesting one because it specifically says mana value 4 or less, which means if you're packing all 4 Leyline Bindings, you know, none of those get hit since it's 6 mana. What does the backside of this card look like? Oh, Awaken. I was sitting here looking for a button to press to flip it, but no, it's right there. Fable for free. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's see what we draw. Yeah, there's the mana. See, that would have been really good last turn. Even so, though, they probably, if we would have been able to play this last turn, then it probably would have just been dragged to the bottom. Target player draws 2 cards. Create a token that's a copy of a permanent you control. Distribute 3 counters. Destroy target permanent and opponent control. So it does like a lot. That's what I'm seeing there. It does like a lot of things. Okay, so we could go Skrelv's ability onto Mentor and get a nice full swing here. I don't mind that. Wait. Hexproof from a color. I'm sorry, opponent. 1 second. I'm like double checking all the new stuff and whatnot. Sure, why not? Yeah, we'll go ahead and use this ability on the Mentor. And red. Right, so that way they can't chump it. Good damage, man. It's great damage, actually. It's really just too bad that the board wipes that the opponents are playing get around the Light Shield Array. Oh man, look at our deck, guys. Look at how cool it is. I'm satisfied. I hope the opponent can wrap it up soon though, because I really don't like conceding when there's like a small sliver of a chance, you know what I mean? So hopefully they can get something on the board here. They can play Atraxa number 2. It's not like it has haste though, so yeah, it's too bad, man. Creatures you control gain hexproof indestructible, just doesn't get around the -1/-1. Still have a 1/1 though. which comes out as a 2/2 because of In the Trenches. Which is kind of cool, right? Second Soul of the Windgrace here, actually. What could we see off the top? I don't think there's much, guys. Elspeth Resplendent could be cool. Actually, either Elspeth could be cool. We have the removal. We have the removal on In the Trenches. We only get to do it once, though. Other than that, we'd want to save it for Atraxa. But I think we're going to die, so... We'll take the Soul of Windgrace, get a swing for 2 in. I think either way we die, saving the In the Trenches removal for Atraxa doesn't make much sense to me when there's a chance that we actually draw something else that we can play next turn, right? So yeah. Oh man, I guess, yeah, if the opponent didn't see the first drag to the bottom, this really could have gone either way, for sure. And maybe at that point it would be leaning towards us. The good news is my little misplay earlier with the Mentor and the Invasion didn't matter, luckily. So Atraxa number 2, honestly, they have 3 land open. They're going to want to play another blocker. Here's why. We could see Ossification off the top, take that second Atraxa. Yep, so they get second blocker down. That's huge because now they can successfully double block the 3/3. So even if we do see removal for the Atraxa, it's looking great for them. Celestis. Yeah, they're gaining a good chunk of life too. Wow! Man, if the Atraxa wasn't on the board, yeah, this would have been so good last turn. At this point, we'd, what, -3 and see what we find. Yeah, Elspeth Resplendent, what a great draw, dude, wow. There's a chance we see removal off the -3. What a good announcement. And the Monastery Mentor as well. All of these would be pretty decent. They get shield counters, but again, the drag to the bottom is unaffected by the shield counters. So I guess at that point it would be Wedding Announcement, but then they're just gaining too much life. Anyways, I guess Wedding Announcement, right? I think that's completely fine. And opponent swings Atraxa to the Invasion. Even Leyline Binding can exile the announcement if they want, but yeah, hit the Elspeth, that makes more sense. I'm gonna let them play this out, guys. Their deck looks pretty insane overall, just 5-color Atraxa, like, Invasion. I'm interested to see how good the Awaken the Maelstrom is once they hit it, too, so... I want to see this. I want to see them play this out. We're just going to take all the damage here, too. And then we'll try to get as many matches in after this, guys. So if another long match ends up happening, we'll just go ahead. If it's leaning towards the opponent, we'll give it to the opponent, right? So we can get as many matches in as possible for the new set. On the topic of longer matches, guys, always keep an eye out for chapters down at the bottom of the video and also timestamps in the description. Make sure to skip ahead if you don't want to put up with these longer games. For me, I like seeing the interactions. I mean, it's a brand new set too, so I definitely like seeing all the new cards. And for yesterday's video, we just went up against a lot of mono red, so I didn't get to see too many of the new cards. In this one, we got the Wayfinder, we got them playing battles and everything too. You get Soul of Windgrace back. Nice, nice. Oh man. So that's how they distributed the counters. I'm surprised they put a counter on this Wayfinder. Oh, it had to be 3 different creatures, maybe? There's so much on this card that I have to read it like 5 times. So they drew 2 cards. Okay, they have a Herd Migration. Artifact from your hand onto the battlefield. They create a token that's a copy of a permanent. They distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 creatures. Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Yeah, so they ended up losing that extra token regardless. Wandering Emperor doesn't hit the Atraxa, but wow, that is a pretty terrific draw, honestly. And the opponent has enough to wrap up this game. We'll go ahead and be fancy with the Wandering Emperor, but we'll let them swing in here. They had the epic beasts, all 5 of them, which is pretty sick. This time they don't bother copying off the reflection. Since they're getting 8 through in the air, we're going to be gaining 2 here. We're going to pick up the soul. We're going to chump the big guys.
Anyone who harms my people must contend with me.
They might, I mean, some spot removal, like just playing the Leyline Binding on one of the 1/1s would be like the safest bet to make sure they're winning here. But with all the 3/3s, regardless, that's enough damage. What, 21 total damage or so? Oh, maybe a little more. I'm not sure what my starting life total was there. Alright guys, let's go ahead and go into the next one. Those drag to the bottoms were disgusting. So that's going to be noteworthy, man. That deck looked pretty decent overall, and Domain has honestly just been waiting. Domain has been waiting to be broken for so long. We brought that up so many times on the channel, and you guys too bringing it up in the comments. Like, Domain was waiting for it, so I'll tell you what, man. You never know, that might be a new part of the meta. So -X and the exile abilities would completely obliterate this style of build, so we'll see though. Great hand, dude. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Boom, boom, boom. And then if we see a Plains, we have the Wandering Emperor for turn 4. Good hand. So what do you guys think? Is this a way to put together mono white aggro? Oh man, are we gonna see a counterspell here right away? Nope. Nice. Oh, you know what? Artifacts. I bet this is artifacts. Oh no, Skrelv is in soldiers too, right? Maybe not. I think some soldier lists run like 1 or 2 Skrelvs, right? Maybe. Don't quote me on it. I have no idea. Invasion's good. In the Trenches is excellent. Wow. I think they might chump here. Alright. Let's see if they do that. I mean, that's not, like, it's not a terrible trade. We get another one. Get the Mentor down. It's not bad. At least they don't have it now, right? We do have the Wandering Emperor available for next turn, but if we end up drawing like a 2-drop, then we go Invasion. Like Ossification or something would be a great draw. Take out their blocker that they plan on getting down here. Terrific lines of play so far, guys. Plains, okay. We get a seriously good swing in. If we go Invasion, we might be able to just flip it. Another Plains. Not terrible, guys. Not terrible. I don't think it's Invasion, though. It might be just Wandering Emperor. And then buff whatever they try trading with a human into, right? They have the Skrelv, but I doubt they want to use that. Well, yeah, they could. They could. Alright. Alright, what the heck? Let's do Wandering Emperor. So, like, we could keep it back as more of a defensive play too, but I think this is completely fine. Alright, let's do this. Could also just get more damage through too. Could also just get a 2/2 White Samurai, but we don't know if the opponent's rocking any board wipes or anything fancy. Just get that first strike and let them do the Skrelv ability to protect their 1/1. Or not. Or not. Sure. Am I, like, always reading Skrelv wrong? Another target creature you control gains Toxic 1. Hexproof from that color until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creature. Yeah, it says nothing about indestructible, guys. I'm just being silly over here. Oh, Elish Norn. Oh my goodness, it's 4/6 right now because of the wedding announcement. Oh my goodness, that is disgusting on so many levels. A source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control. That source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1 mana. Oh my goodness, dude. What on earth is even happening? Right, well, I guess In the Trenches is going to be excellent removal for that next turn. Are we wide enough yet? We go Invasion? Maybe. The Prowess is all pretty great. See what they have in hand here. If we would have went Invasion last turn, we could have prevented them from playing that Elish Norn. So that is definitely something to think about, guys. Second Elish Norn, but it's probably going to be Wedding Announcement, because I don't think we're going to be able to take out the first one. Sacrifice 3 other creatures, exile Elish Norn, return to the battlefield. Okay, let's do the Wedding Announcement, I think. This is rough, man. This is rough. So we give first strike to the Mentor. Full swing, we end up dying to their Elish Norn because we used all of our mana, right? Sounds good, sounds good. Let's do this. I don't think we, like, hold back the swing, though, right? They have another Elish Norn. We do have the mana for the In the Trenches next turn, though, but what if they find a board wipe? What if, guys? So this can't block. They chump here. They got a great blocker there. So we try to take out the invasion. We swing at base. We swing a chump there. We'll see where they end up blocking, because they might try to take out our 3/3 Phyrexian Mite, so that way we don't flip the invasion. Other than that, we're going to take a good chunk of damage from the Norn, but since we have chump blockers over here too... Wow, they're not going to chump the Mentor. We got 6 damage through there, guys. They actually want to just take out a Mite, I suppose. Okay, we flip the invasion, which is good. Ow, ow, ow. Light Shield Array. This is cool, man. This is cool stuff. This is what I'm talking about. Now we have the Light Shield Array, hexproof and everything. Wandering Emperor available. It's too bad this has Vigilance. All the counters. I'll tell you what, dude. In the Trenches removal sounds really good right about now. They pay all 5 for a Wedding Announcement. So they want to swing with the Elish Norn, but if they... So they want to swing at face, right? Pay 2. Well... Yeah, pay 2, swing at face, but then they don't know we have land in hand. So we play land in the Trenches... Take the Norn, full swing. Right? As long as we take the Norn, we don't end up dying. So In the Trenches just being absolutely disgusting here. I have another chump blocker, but down to 3 In the Trenches, number 2. Nice. Okay. Take that Norn. Alrighty. Go +1. Yeah, GG. GG, opponent. Figured we'd do the +1 just in case. Get maximum damage through, right? That was cool, man. That was cool. Of course I had fun that game. Let's see if we can get at least one more match in. The last couple taking a little bit of time, right? Not too bad overall, though. I like it so far, dude. I definitely think this is a way to put mono white aggro together. That Elish Norn is something to consider, dude. That card actually, for being a 4-drop, looks pretty aggressive for a top end. You know what I mean? I could see it. Maybe not in this particular build, but there's probably a creature build that we could look into. Of course, if you're going creatures, then you want cards like Thalia in there too. Dude, Thalia and that new Elish Norn. Oh, buddy. That seems pretty cool, huh? Honestly, I'm a little overwhelmed with decks to put together, guys. Like, there's just like too many things to try. Yeah, Companion's a great blocker for them, unfortunately, so we're just gonna go right into the Adeline. Maybe we swing for the sake of getting a 1/1 over here. They trade there, gain 3. Nah. And the reason being, we do have the Archangel, which can fly over the Companion. I'd much rather have a flying adversary. Ah, geez. Well, they have flying now, too. And we don't have a 4th mana either, so that was a little risky overall. Might be a full swing now. Might be. They don't know what's in hand. Alright, let's see what they end up doing here. Because it's probably Catilda to 1/1. Wow. See they didn't know what was in hand. It could have been a second seat, but they are not concerned about this board state at all, which has me a little concerned, honestly. They didn't want to lose anything, I guess. Wait a minute. Is this Selesnya enchantments? It's just now clicking that this is Selesnya enchantments. So they had a great block with Catilda here, but if we had a second seat, then I mean, it's going to be Ossification take the Catilda, huh? It's gotta be. Hallowed Haunting's terrifying, but hell, full swing. I'm sure they eventually chump this adversary. Yeah, there you go. Gaining another 3, but this is just a ton of damage going through, which is why we still full swing regardless. If we held back adversary, they would have been able to chump the Adeline, taking a lot less damage there. Naturalist, that's good. They can catch up easily. Removal, hit the Adeline. Hallowed Haunting, number 2. They got blockers on the ground, but I mean, the big problem there is, I guess we'll go Invasion. The big problem is, of course, the buffs on everything, right? So hit, I guess Weaver of Harmony, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just full swing at face. Block well. They block well. We have another 1/1 there, so yeah, we're just wide enough. We'd have 3 going through regardless of where they block. I guess they would have had 2 going in regardless. We didn't have to play the Invasion. Oh no. I guess, yeah, getting the Prowess for all those. The life link, guys. The life link, yeah, that happens before they end up dying. Well, now they're in trouble though. Even on like a board wipe, we still would have had the 1/1 from the Crawling Chorus too. Get a couple more 1/1s. I mean, they're going for it, guys. We see a 4th mana. The Elspeth will wrap this up. Skrelv doesn't have haste. Yeah, GG opponent. GG. I mean, they were at 1. They could block 5. They didn't have lifelink this time, though. They had 1 planes open, but we could see their hand as well, huh? It's just a Weaver of Harmony. Poor little Weaver, exiled by the Invasion. The last turn, I wonder if it would have been worth swinging at the Invasion of Gobakhan, since the lifelink was going to bring him back up to 1. Getting more counters on this board might have been better, but I think going wide overall was just the correct play, right? I think so. If they had more lifelink to go around on that board, like if their Catilda was just huge and they were gaining a bunch, then trying to play out the long game and getting more counters onto that board state would have been the line of play probably, but yeah, overall, GG, man. Wow. So far, I really like how this deck plays out. It would have been great to see a 4th land to try to play the new Elspeth, but it is what it is, right? We might want to talk about 25 land for the deck. Nah, that seems a little silly, though. I don't know, maybe. Going first here is huge for us. All right, mono red, let's see. Can we compete against mono red? I think Adversary doesn't see too much play because of mono red recently. Like, the lifelink's great for it, but it gets picked up by everything, and the festivities, play with fire, of course, lightning strike. Every other burn under the sun. Oh, Rakdos. Let's go, opponent. All right. Harvester. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, 3rd mana. Mentor's not bad. It's kind of the same concept here, though, right? Like, everything gets picked up. And now that it's Rakdos, they have cards like Go for the Throat, Cut Down, all that other fancy goodness as well. We go Invasion, we could at least see something in their hand. Swing at it and see if they trade Harvester. That's an easy trade, huh? Call me crazy, guys. I'm gonna hold Adversary back and just play Mentor and see what they do. I guess just taking out Oh, no, yeah, no, we swing. We swing. I should have swung before playing. Because they could have just, they can prevent the lifelink by just sacrificing Harvester, which would be a worse trade for us than actually just swinging in. But if they wanted to save Harvester, maybe we could have snaked out some removal from their hand. Now, Lightning Strike still would have hit Mentor regardless, so they wouldn't have hit the Adversary. Yeah, I think swinging was best bet. And the reason being, of course, was just to get the lifelink through. Alright, Archangel. It's too bad we don't have a creature to give a couple +1/+1 counters to and flying, like that Adversary, but it was going to die regardless, so... Yeah, I'd say a 4-mana 5 loyalty Planeswalker that has a little bit of protection with a 1/1 lifelink soldier is relatively solid. Okay, Blood Tithe Harvester number 2. This is Rakdos aggro, guys, which is very cool. Sure. They play with fire. It's still not enough to take it out completely. And it wasn't a play with fire either, so... Wandering Emperor. Well then. Oh my, GG opponent. Yeah. I guess they didn't want to sit through me going through the lines of play there, but if we take a look at this, man, I'll tell you what, dude. So what would we have wanted to do? Maybe, honestly, keeping the Wandering Emperor would be all right play, but going -2, giving this soldier, making it a 3/3 lifelink flyer, that's pretty good too, man. If they end up trying to take out Archangel and then swinging other to face, then we drop the Wandering Emperor, -2. The one, protect the Archangel, gain a couple life. We still had a bunch of removal. Invasion not doing too much in this particular match, but I don't know. I don't know if, like, because that turn also could have been Invasion. And then, well... Yeah, because we would have been able to fly in and hit the Invasion. There was a lot of lines of play in that last hand. Holy cow, huh? Guys, let's go over the deck list again. Mono white aggro. Here's the list. I like it. We might want to consider 25 land, mainly because there's so many 3-drops. And when you do have your 4-drops in hand, it definitely sucks only seeing 3 mana. And only seeing 3 mana is actually just detrimental to the deck in general, whereas seeing the 4th mana is much, much better because there's going to be many turns where you want to play 2 of your 2-drops. And let's not forget the Adversary's ability actually just costing that extra 1 and a white, so that could kind of be considered a 4 or even a 6-drop as well, so we might want to consider 25 land, but it also seems a little bit weird. So what would I drop for the 25th land? Probably an In the Trench. No, I love In the Trenches, dude, and that removal comes in handy so often. If you're going up a land, then you're getting closer to that removal anyways. Late game removal, but regardless. Maybe an Invasion. I liked this card a lot, but it was kind of hard to pull off sometimes. I don't know. It's really good to hit cards out of the opponent's hand, though. The Skrelv didn't do too much, and by some miracle, how long have we been playing with this card, and I still kind of get the card wrong. Like, there's still moments in matches, we saw that today, where I think it's giving Indestructible too. It does not give Indestructible. It's just something about this card that makes me think that it should, even though that would be much more powerful too, but maybe the Skrelv. Going down 1-drops could be bad. There's a new, does it give hexproof? I can't think of what it's called right now. Yeah, this one, Surge of Salvation. Let's read this real quick. It's an instant speed, and you and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. Prevent all damage that black and or red sources would deal to creatures you control. I like that hexproof. I'd like that just like give everything hexproof. If this said indestructible, that would be overpowered above and beyond, right? So this could be a card to consider for the list as well. The main reason, of course, is because it is a non-creature spell which works with the Monastery Mentor, which Monastery Mentor is ridiculous. If this survives, dude, it's going to help you wrap up the game very fast. And of course, that's the biggest problem then. Is it going to survive? Turn 3, you play it, and Mono Red just can immediately kill it with any burn in their deck. So I don't know, it's going to be tough. Playing it later on is actually a little bit better after you have a little bit of an established board state, maybe a wedding announcement already flipped into a festivity, for example. Or, you know, you have extra mana so you can play it out with like an Ossification and remove your opponent's best thing that turn. So you're already getting that monk on the board. I don't know. I think this deck, I mean, obviously it can be optimized in some form, but I think there might actually be something here, guys. There might be some form of competitive deck underneath that needs optimized. However, always remember, you know, it's the beginning of the new set, and we never know where the meta's actually going to land. So we'll see. We'll keep our eye on it, though. Guys, if you made it this far into the video, then for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.